Nobody's booing them. And Mark McGuire had this crush on Jewel, so he hears we're in town playing a show, so he sends, like when you're that famous, you can send your people to extend an invitation to their people to have Jewel come down. And Jewel's like, who? Who? Like, this is like the biggest news. She doesn't reject shit about pop culture news. She doesn't care. That's what I love about her. She just can't even be bothered. She wants to ride her horse, stay with Ty Murray at the ranch and everything. So she goes, Mark who? And I go, he's only going for the record. He wants to meet you. And she goes, you go. So she would send me as her emissary. I was like Robert Duvall in The Godfather 2. And so I go. Mark McGuire's like, all pumped. He looks at me. But I get to go in the locker room, and then I get to go down on the field. And then sure enough, Jill goes, maybe I'll come in the fourth inning. So she comes down, and I'm like, thank God I get to bring her down and pimp her out so I can meet Mark McGuire. But more than Mark McGuire, I wanted to meet Jack Buck because he was such a good announcer. And I shook his hand. I have a picture of me with Jack Buck down on the field during the height of the home run race. That was bringing all the fans back into baseball when everybody had left coming because of the strike and people were disheartened by baseball. So I meet Mark McGuire, and it was so cool. But the cool thing was meeting Jack Buck. So I mentioned him in the song, Vin Scully, a guy named Ernie Harwell, and then Jerry Coleman, who's still calling games for the Padres. And he's like 82 years old. They call him the Colonel. And back then, when Jerry Coleman was playing, he played for the Yankees. Like guys like Ted Williams, these guys went off and served in the Army and still came back. And he hit 406. The only two records I think that'll never be broken: the 56-game hitting streak by DiMaggio and the 406 batting average. Because in today's game of baseball, we have specialists that come in middle relief, closers, and they have statistics. If you look at La Russa, the way he has all the statistics of how to pitch somebody, back then they didn't have all that. But Ted Williams had that eye. And I think Barry Bonds has that same eye as far as for contact. But man, Ted Williams is a splendid splinter.